I'm gonna give you all a really controversial take. I'm gonna show you guys why I decide to one trick in ranked. Alright, so right now I'm currently one tricking Magic, and as you can see, I'm not winning all my games. I'm losing quite a bit actually. And this season, actually let me go back to my history. I peaked Grandmaster 1, and shit, last season I peaked Celestial 1. So what the hell am I doing? One tricking and putting myself in GM tres. Let me go ahead and explain this to y'all while I put some gameplay in the background with my Majusi, so y'all can look at it. But first and foremost, I want to admit that one tricking for the sole purpose of only playing that one character because you really like the character and you never want to swap at all, I think that's bad, straight up. But the reason that I one trick is so that I can get better at flexing. Let me explain. So normally I am a Magneto main, right? So 200 hours, I have double the playtime on Magneto that I do on every other character, right? But I acknowledge that sometimes playing Magneto in certain situations isn't just doesn't work, right? Playing Magneto into full brawl, you're gonna get rolled most of the time. So I need to have characters in my back pocket that I need to be good at, so that whenever the time to swap does come, I'm able to do it. So that's more or less the philosophy behind it. And a lot of people say, well, why don't you just do it in quick play? Let me explain. First of all, I have a self-rule for myself. In quick play, I never, ever, 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 ever pull out my lords, unless I'm like playing with some friends and we're messing around or whatever. But the reason is that it's not competitive. And maybe some other person on the other team is taking it like super serious or whatever, people on my team. It's still quick play. A win in quick play doesn't mean anything, in my opinion. And honestly, you know what's crazy? I find the most amount of Lord Spider-Man players in quick play so that they don't get rolled in comp, but whatever, that's besides the point. The point is, it's not competitive, so because of that, whenever you do win games, it might not have been because you carried. The matchmaking is already flawed in competitive, and it's even more rigged in quick play, where they will give you literal bot lobbies and fabricate a win for you. So it's there's not really much of a point of trying to learn a character in quick play when it's not competitive. You might not be winning games because of you specifically, so I feel like you just won't learn very good habits. You might learn habits that are just not healthy. So yeah, I think it's a combination of all of those things that explains why I think one tricking in quick play is learning a character in quick play is just not as effective as learning in competitive. So why do I play in competitive? My overall philosophy of playing one tricking in competitive for this certain character is that you gotta play through the bad ones in order to get better at the good ones. So it's better in in competitive, because you have actual team structure and teammates that are trying to win. So you're not gonna get like the composition of like all 5, DPS, 1 support, no tanks, etc., etc. You are for the most part gonna get a good composition. Not all the time. You still get throwers and stuff like that. And honestly, when you one trick a character, if you're playing DPS and then 3 other people decide to play DPS as well, you're kind of cooked, right? But it happens less often than not. So it's you're put in an environment where people are trying to win. So you are creating better habits. By putting yourself in situations where it really is like, okay, if you're not good at this character, you're not going to win this team fight, and you're not going to win the game. And you also learn to play into your counters, right? So let's say I get fully countered on Magic, which has happened already several times. I'm not Lord on Magic yet. I'm about 17, 18 hours into the character. But I have gotten, into situations where they've gone Namor, Bucky, triple support, etc., etc., and I just pretty much can't do anything on the character. Well, because I learned to play into because I don't swap, I learned to play into the characters a little bit better. But it's not only that. I learn what the situation looks like when you probably should be swapping. So I know that, okay, if they are playing triple support, Bucky and Namor, that's practically unwinnable. I'm pretty much just going to be wailing on the tank the whole game and not winning. But I wouldn't have learned that otherwise unless I actually lived through a game and a situation where as much as I tried to outplay my counters, it just didn't work, right? So that's learning how to play into your counters, but also learning when the counters are actually like legitimately countering you so hard to the point where your character is useless is also, I think, a very important skill to learn, and a very important situation for you to read. So once I've actually gotten good enough at the character to the point where I can actually start ranking up and getting up to the ranks that I actually belong in, that's when I know that I'm ready at this character. I can actually bring this character and I can add it to my pool of characters that I can flex to, right? So I've had a couple games. I'm not very good at DPS, right? My two mains on DPS are Blade and Daredevil. All right, but Daredevil's banned a lot. So when we're in a situation where they have a Squirrel Girl, they have a Phoenix, or they have some heavy poke, and it's preventing us from moving forward, and the situation obviously calls for dive. Now I'm gonna have this character, once I actually get this character ranked up all the way, back to Celestial at least, then I'm gonna have it ready. So why don't I swap in games where my character is clearly being countered? Well, I don't want to win games that I shouldn't be winning. If I'm in this situation where, okay, I'm losing because my magic is not good, then that means I need to get better at magic. And it doesn't just always come down to like full on being countered, but maybe I just didn't hit a combo correctly, maybe I missed a cooldown, maybe I mismanaged an ability, etc, etc. But the point is, if I actually do swap and I start ranking up because of the fact that I swapped, then I'm going to be winning games that I shouldn't be winning. And then when I do try, let's say I GM3, let's say I make it all the way back up to Celestial 1 or something like that, and then I start trying to one-trick magic, then I'm going to be truly cooked. So there's no point in me trying to win games that I shouldn't be winning. Now, I do acknowledge that one-tricking is bad for the game. It is bad for my teammates. Like, it is... I personally do hate playing against one-tricks, and I do hate playing... with one-tricks, and I do hate playing with people who don't know how to swap. And I know that's like very hypocritical for me to say, because shit, I'm not swapping in this game specifically. Like, I think on the second round, probably a Wolverine or something would have been much better, or a second tank or whatever. But I need to learn the character. That's what it comes down to. I don't want to win games that I shouldn't be winning, but I know that my method works. So I've been one-tricking almost every single season for new characters that come out. So I started one-tricking with Emma, and then I did it with Ultron, and then I did it with Blade, Daredevil, Gambit, Angela, etc, etc. And now I'm at the point where I can play those characters confidently, even if I'm getting countered to a certain extent, and play the characters at the level in which I'm actually at, right? To actually be able to rank up. So I know my method works. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all actually that my method works. Let me get out. So let me show y'all a little bit of proof of what I've been doing almost practically every single season. So if we look at my stats here, season 0. Actually, let's start with all seasons, right? Obviously, Magneto main by a really large margin. Season 0 kind of doesn't count. I was learning how to play the game. Season 1 played a lot of Magneto. Season 1.5, same thing, played a lot of Magneto. Season 2, Emma comes out, I play a ton of Emma. Now, granted, she was busted, she could grab 2 times, her shield had more health, she just did a bunch of damage. She was a raid boss. And then Ultron comes out, I ended up really liking the character. I wasn't really a support player back then, but I learned how to play Ultron, and I learned a little bit more about the support role by doing this. And then I go Season 3. Season 3, Phoenix came out. I tried Phoenix a little bit. I'm just not very good at aiming. I'm not very good at hit scan. So I picked up the character a little bit and then just didn't really try it again. Blade is a character I learned how to play DPS with. So now I understand the DPS role a little bit better, and I'm able to play Blade at a Celestial level. Character comes out, Angela, same thing. Angela's a really important character to learn because if you're playing now, when you're playing against a really good Angela, you know what counters a really good Angela, and you can either play the counter or you can play the Angela mirror, because playing the Angela mirror and just chasing the other Angela around the map is actually not a bad strategy, just to keep her occupied for the most part. And then Daredevil comes out, play the character. I get pretty decent at the character. Don't play it as much because I feel like the character was just permabanned almost every single game, so I couldn't get as much practice. And then one-tricked Gambit. Now, I did try one-tricking Rogue for a little bit, but man, this character just didn't click. There was no, it wasn't coming to me naturally, and I'm sure if I played the character more, it would have came, but this is just one of those characters that I kind of gave up with, and now we're in season 6. I'm one tricking Magic. I didn't start off the season one tricking Magic, but I figured that before the season got up too far ahead, I should probably start doing this now and learning the character right now that I'm a lower rank. But anyways, again, I one trick so that I can get better at flexing, and now my character roster, my character pool is looks like this because I'm actually able to play the characters well. So anyways, I know this isn't going to work for everybody, and I know that people are going to comment and be like, well, you still shouldn't be one tricking in my games, like you still should be. So I acknowledge, and I agree, and I'm on your side. I don't like playing with one tricks either. I get it, but in order for me to get better at flexing, I need to one trick just for a little bit, and I'm probably only going to one trick Magic for maybe 5 more in-game hours at this point. So because I'm almost lower at the character. I'm still GM3. I still need to rank up, but I'm getting there. I'm hitting my buttons more often. I'm getting better at the cooldown management, etc., etc. But anyways, this is my controversial opinion to add into the world of Marvel Rivals. Let me know if you guys think I'm right. I know a lot of you guys are gonna think that I'm wrong, but as long as I'm doing this for the right reasons, I'm probably not gonna stop, and that's gonna be my best way of learning a new character. But anyways, have a good day, y'all.